Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm out for another one of my fantastic hikes. You know, it's October, so the days are numbered. It's gonna get a little too cold to get out here, or at least it's probably never too cold, but probably too snowy because it does get up to your waist in this part of the country. So I made it through another week. This job of mine, you know, I feel like I talk to people about how they get through their weeks and how they get through the day to day. And I always get the same story. It's like, oh, this is what I've always done. This is just how it's always been. So I guess since it's sort of new for me I'm not newly recovered, but it's only been, well, it's been 6 years, which is kind of a long time on the drug recovery scale. But I don't know, I'm still having a really hard time getting used to this working thing and going around in circles as I do as a recycling collector. Yesterday was particularly tough. Fridays are generally 12-hour days, but by the end of the day, I mean, is this normal? By the end of the day, I had to stop my truck. I mean, I had to actually pull over, and I felt like crying. It's like, I'm almost 54 years old and I can't get through an entire workday without feeling like bawling my eyes out. I don't know. I guess maybe that's just the way things are, and maybe I'm not the only one going through that kind of stuff. But I made it through it, and I made it to another Saturday, and I'm super grateful to be out here. I mean, this backdrop, the Rocky Mountains, the forest out here really can't be beat. I'm so fortunate to have an opportunity to live up here because I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I'm only like 6 or 7 miles from home. So I think I need to back up a little bit and share kind of a recent story of where I'm coming from, and the reason why another reason I decided to start this channel. A couple months ago, I had reached a point where I couldn't find too many reasons to keep going. So I guess I should just tell the whole story. I ended up driving from Denver to Southern California. I got, I think it was 40 Xanax bars. And then I drove from Southern California up the coast, you know, just kind of going through one of those, feeling like I was resigned to the notion that I was done living. So I headed to Oregon, which is where I'm from, and I got to, God, I can still remember it. I got to Coos Bay, Oregon, and I went into a Home Depot, and I walked in the door and I was like, where do you keep your rope? And I ended up buying, I don't know, a bunch of rope, and then continued driving up the coast, and I got to Lincoln City, and I spent the night in Lincoln City. And then I went and bought a bunch of, I guess was what was good vodka. And then I went out to an area that I was familiar with as a child. We used to go there for vacation when I was a kid. So I was familiar with the area, so it seemed like a good spot, and it was kind of remote, out in the forest or a wooded area. And it was my intention to drink a bunch of the vodka, take all of the Xanax, put the rope around my neck, and just, you know, let gravity do its thing once I passed out from the drugs and alcohol. But I got out there, and all I was able to do was cry like a baby and feel like the world's biggest asshole ever. So that was, I mean, I guess you could say that was a pretty big turning point. At that point, I was completely covered in mosquito bites and, you know, like tears. And, you know, it was, I guess you could probably say it was the absolute bottom of the barrel. Like, my life pretty much reset at that moment. You know, you don't really realize it at the time. So I couldn't go through with it, obviously. And I sat there for several hours. And like I said, I just felt really stupid. Like, how could I have, like, I did the total asshole thing, and I spent so much money on credit cards thinking I was never going to have to pay them. And I don't know. I thought I was done. At that point, there didn't seem like any other choice. So I reached the point where I decided, you know what? I've got to make some big changes. I have to do something differently. You know, the thing about getting off drugs is you always say to yourself, oh, this time it's going to be different. This time I'm going to do it this way. But that was it. I mean, I realized that, well, at the moment it felt like shit. I don't know how to live and I don't know how to die. So what do I do? There's probably really no worse feeling. So I had to make the decision. Well, you know, at the moment I just kind of went numb, and I was numb for a few days, but I was in the middle of nowhere, and so I didn't really have to do much, didn't have to make many decisions. But I decided to drive back to Colorado. I actually didn't even live anywhere. I didn't have a place to stay at that time. But fortunately, I had my friend in Colorado who was willing to let me come stay with him. So I drove back to Colorado, and it was like, I don't know, I didn't realize that the ball was rolling. I didn't realize that things had changed. I didn't realize things had clicked. But I guess at that moment, in retrospect, I'm realizing that they really must have. So I'm kind of going through this massive metamorphosis right now, and I'm making these gigantic changes in that job. So I've changed. I didn't work much when I was in active drug use. And then I got a job as a truck driver, but then I wasn't able to stay with the same company. So in a 5-year period, I think I changed jobs 9 times. So one of the huge changes is this job I have now. I don't plan on going anywhere. I can't pull over on the side of the road in the middle of the day in tears and then come to the point where it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to find another job. I just have to keep doing it. And I have to make it work, and I have to do what people have been doing forever. I have to, I guess, persevere. So that's kind of the story of how I decided on this channel. You know, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a big social network. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not even really capable of having relationships, unfortunately. So I'm just kind of on my own, and YouTube seems like a really good place to start a community, which is what I'm trying to do here. A community of people that are, I guess, struggling. So that's that. That's kind of the story. I will keep posting videos, and hopefully people will like, comment, and subscribe. I can't believe I'm actually saying that out loud. I think I said that in the last video. I can't believe I'm saying it, but you know what? I guess that's how you build a community, is you need people to stimulate the algorithm. So that's what we got to do. All right. So editing also is a thing that I have not learned. If anybody is good at editing and has any advice, I would love to hear it. But for now, please just comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.